This is the exterior of the house, and as you can see, it goes straight down the hill from here. This is the driveway coming up. Goes along that street, but this is the view. Of the property right there. Goes up the side of that hill there. This is the exterior of the wall where the problem lies. Brian, is this just a stucco crack on this window?
The what?
Just a stucco crack?
Yeah, that's typical of stucco.
Stucco
You're
crack.
Gonna see cracks here and there because they didn't put a control joint in the stucco right here. And then normally you'll see a lot of houses when they're built correctly. There's a divider right through there so this thing can expand and contract. It's concrete, it's gonna move. It's going to expand, so you generally have a control joint that runs straight below the window down to this fin so that it can move this way. When they don't do that, here's your weak point in a concrete, so it finds its own way to move. I don't see any indication on this wall that there's any movement right here. This is supporting the entire house. All the blocks are still tight. This would have gotten poured solid full of concrete when the house was built. There is some erosion right here, but that's dirt erosion. That footing has to be another 36 inches below. It has to be above that grade so that even if it erodes to a flat, you're still on solid soil here. There's some dirt pushing over the top of there, but that's probably because water coming off the roof here. A gutter on this side would stop most of this. And start eroding upward in order for this footing to ever be. This is a floating slab. It looks to me they did a poor job of compacting the soil inside before they poured the floating slab. We go back in there, I'll show you they screwed up on the slab. I'm sorry, pardon me. They did a bad job on the slab. They poured leveler in there. That's what those big chunks that are popping away. There could be some movement in this wall. I don't think it's substantial enough to scare me away from the house. There's no movement in the walls above, and if the wall is sitting on this and it's moving, then there should be movement in that wall, and it doesn't appear to be. Floating slab tends to be, think of a shoebox filled with dirt inside and then pour concrete inside it. There's going to be some movement, and if it's not sitting on a solid base, as that soil that's underneath that floating slab compacts a little bit more over time, the floating slab is going to drop. It's going to move. It's concrete. Let's go back in there and I'll show you what I'm talking about on that there is a slight pitch to this floor just from the line of the door. Over there it looks like it's tipping that way. Over here it looks like it's tipping this way. You gonna feel it when you're walking around with furniture? No. They should have, if they knew there was a foundation line there, which is right off of that corner of the house. This is going to crack right through here because this is a supporting wall for that truss right there. This tile will have to be popped out and put membrane on it to keep that from happening again. So yeah, you're gonna have some tile repair right here. Chances are you may have to try to salvage some tile from here, fix these two with the pieces from here, and change this tile through here. Then when the guys poured the slab, they got it tipped off at the edge. Concrete was tipping down from there. If you set a level from here to that point over there, it's going to show up that it's not level. This entire piece of ground, as I said, with poor compaction, that's what you're seeing is it's sinking. It's not moving. Sinking can be taken care of a couple of different ways. You can drop the baseboards. That baseboard over there is up on an angle anyway, so chances are it hasn't moved enough to be, in a worst case scenario, you go in here, take out the baseboards, re-pour this and level it. It's an inconvenience, it's not a structural issue. I stand corrected. It is a structural issue. Is it a structural issue that should push you away from the house? No. There's no movement in this wall. You would see it. Just from years of practice, I know that there hasn't been any repair done right here, and typical of the same with concrete. Drywall is a semi-solid surface. You'd see a crack here or a crack here if something was happening settling here. You'd also see cracks up there. These trusses are running this way. So if there was any movement in this wall, it would show up at the corner of the window, it would show up in that corner, or you would see it up here. That little nail pop right there is just fairly typical. They've come in with some type of leveler and tried leveling this back upward to try to match the baseboard when they'd have been smarter to drop the baseboard down. This door frame is floating. So you can see this is how much it's moved. It's dropped a half of an inch. But it's more that it's settling down, not out. As I said, someone tried to make an attempt, a gentle attempt at hiding it by pouring floor leveler from this point here and graduating up. The slab has settled.
There's termites.
The termites, which is, there's two types of houses in Arizona, those that have termites and those that are going to get them. This is what I was talking about. You'd see signs of settling. This is actually kind of odd because the truss is not sitting on this wall. The truss is sitting on that wall, which is where all the weight is at. This is literally just pulled down. And by the depth of that, a bare minimum of a quarter. The depth of this down here, another half of an inch. From here, don't